Let's go from a wonderful lady to a wonderful man. And let's talk to John McAnally, who I told you we would speak to. John's a member of St. Maria Goretti Parish in Arlington, and really
Right.
he and I guess a partner of his are doing something really incredible. His website is called conceptionislife.com. Now, John is a transgenesis. You may want to explain that at UT Southwestern Medical School. So welcome to the show, John. And,
Hello.
Tell us about your background and also how you came up with this conceptionislife.com idea.
Well, I'm a biologist, and so the fact that this idea came to me is amazing because it wasn't something I was looking for. It was something I was thrust upon. It was right after the election. I was upset. I was asking God, why? Why are the babies going to continue to be allowed to die? And I was scheduled to go to an adoration. We have an hourly adoration time every Sunday at 4. And so I was going to that adoration time, and I was asking God the same question I've been asking all week, the same question many people were asking, why? Why are the unborn going to have to continue to die? And I was crying, and I looked down at the bracelet I was wearing, which was a saint bracelet, only I did not see the saints anymore. I saw the babies developing in the womb. And so I looked back up at Christ in the Eucharist, and you have this great epiphany. You go from this deep depression to this glorious, hope-filled feeling that, maybe God is giving us something that we can use to affect a positive change. And so I told God, if this is not already out there, then I will take it as far as He would lead me. And so from the moment I saw the vision to the moment we got our first good shipment of bracelets was 9 months. And there were many stories in between. Along the way, I talked with a patent attorney because anything you do new really has to be protected. And so this patent attorney suggested that I put a prayer on the back. And so one of my favorite prayers has always been Bishop Fulton Sheen's prayer for the unborn, which is, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, I love you very much. Jesus, I beg you to spare the life of the unborn baby that I have spiritually adopted, who is in danger of abortion. And so I put that on the back, and we progressed from there, and now we're out there, and many people are very, very excited about this.
And this is a relatively new venture. You said it took 9 months to get your first one produced. So what time frame are we looking at? How long have these been on sale?
We have been out really selling these for about 2 months, 2.5 months. And the way we go about selling is we really are trying to help the pro-life groups or the Catholic stores raise money. And so, we sell them to wholesalers or we sell them to retailers, and then in turn they can sell them to their individual parishioners or people, and then they in turn raise money for whatever their needs are as a pro-life group.
Now, you've got one on your wrist.
Yes.
I'm actually wearing mine as well. Has it been a good conversation piece? Do you have people at the grocery store coming up and ask you? Because I know people are used to these type of bracelets. And by the way, if you want to see a nice picture of it, go to conceptionislife.com. And John and his partner have a really nice website where you can order them anywhere from, I think, 10 to 1,000. Let's continue talking now. How many of these have you sold? Are you getting orders from around the world?
We are getting orders from around the country, from anywhere from Delaware, and we got several stores here in Texas. Of course, we're always looking for more stores for them to get on board and carry them. We have several Knights of Columbus groups that are using these for fundraisers. We have different pro-life groups using them for fundraisers, and everyone that's done a fundraiser has been successful. So it really is about the people are hungry for this. This is a way to let the unborn speak for themselves, something that has not really been, they haven't been able to do that before. It's hard to bring in a T-shirt or a hat or a poster and put it in your office or bring that to the store, but this is really very effective. All you have to do is wear it on your wrist, and people will approach you and they'll ask you, what are you wearing? When I had the prototype, I was wearing it around and acting as if I was a shy person, somebody that didn't want to have confrontations with people, didn't want to be in your face about pro-life. And I had people approaching all the time. The first time I went to go get Starbucks wearing it, the lady there asked me exactly, what is that? And I was able to evangelize her and tell her this is the unborn. They're always very impressed. They're always very astonished that the unborn look fully developed so early on. I mean, the first picture on there is a fertilized egg, then a blastocyst, then a 7-week-old.
You sound like a biologist talking.
It might be a little too that.
So yeah, that's the other question I was going to ask you. Is I'm looking at mine, and I know you've had different versions. I think mine is different than yours, perhaps. Right. But where did you get the pictures? It looks like you say from the very moment of conception all the way to probably a
20-week-old baby,
20-week-old in the womb, and just so people know. I know these are all. None of these are aborted babies. These are all
living, beautiful babies. All these pictures, they come from Life Issues Institute. Life Issues Institute is a company that, like us, just wants the babies to get out there. And so when you buy their CD, they give you unlimited usage for their pictures. And so we called them, let them know, we're going to be putting these on a bracelet and getting them out there, and they're very supportive.
We haven't talked to, how much are they?
The price is $7. So when you go to a Catholic store, they'll be around $7. They can sell them for wherever they want. But when we sell them to pro-life groups or stores, and for them to use for fundraisers or whatever. And it depends on the number they buy. If they buy, like say 100, we'll sell them to them for $3 a piece, and then they in turn can sell them for $7, and make $4 for whatever their needs are. Or if they buy as little as 12, and we can sell them for $3.50 a piece. So.
You mentioned to me before the show that EWTN has picked these up, and they're selling them through their website.
Well, Mother Angelica's store has picked them up.
Wow, so, that must be a nice boon. How many of the local bookstores? I know, Arlington is Keepsakes. Joe and Dolores Sutton over there have them. Do the other bookstores have them?
Yeah, there's several that do have them. There's several that they don't have them yet. However, if they want to call us, I'll give out the phone number for them to call us. You can call us at 817-419-9440, and we'll gladly help you out. It's a funny story about Keepsakes, but it was right after we did our first, we had just gotten them, and we wanted to do it at our own parish first, because that's where we got the inspiration through the Eucharist. And so we sold them right after Masses. I talked after each of the homilies, and people lined up to get them at the table. Well, there are a lot of people that didn't want to wait in that long of a line. And so the next morning, this was Monday morning, they were waiting at Keepsake's door before Keepsakes even opened, because they wanted to get
the
bracelets.
Cabbage Patch doll. I mean, this is like the big craze, huh?
So, people they are hungry. They are hungry to do something for life, and this is the best way I think that we've ever had, because we can spend all day talking about what the unborn look like, but it's nothing compared to showing somebody what the unborn looks like.
And forgive me if you've already mentioned this, but how many so far have you manufactured? Do you have a count?
We have 10,000 in stock right now.
Okay.
So we manufactured more than that. There's actually thousands of them out there all across the country. But there's millions of people out there, so there's plenty of room for speaking for the unborn. And the two of us, Scott Blue is my partner, my business partner. He's co-founder of Conception is Life. And between the two of us, we know of 6 babies that have been saved just from the mother seeing a picture. And that's just 2 of us. So you can start multiplying that effect by the number of people wearing them.
Yeah.
So if you're wearing them, you will change somebody's heart. You will save somebody.
Yeah, and it's the kind of thing and no one's going to be offended by this, because who's offended by a picture of a baby in the womb? I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. I didn't know until you arrived today of what your profession, is,
sure.
And I find it a really interesting tie-in. You're a transgeneticist.
I'm a transgeneticist.
Gotta be okay. At UT Southwestern Medical School.
Southwestern.
That had to have impacted your fervor for pro-life. Tell us about your research and how this all ties together.
We study the development. So we use mice as a model, and we study development. And one of the things that we do is we take a mouse, like what I do is I take a mouse egg, and I inject DNA straight into that mouse egg. And then we put the mouse egg back into the mouse, and the mouse does the rest. It grows up the rest of the mouse. And then we're able to study such things as heart disease or skeletal development, things like that. Well, one of the issues that I was concerned about was human embryonic stem cell research. And I was concerned with both candidates were for human embryonic stem cell research. And so I knew that eventually I would have to pass that line where I would have to ask my work, what are we going to do with this? Because it's something I can't do. And so fortunately it was, I went through that and I didn't have to worry about anything. This was not something we were going to do. So that was a relief. But that really was one of the initiations into what can I do to work for life,
Yeah, interesting. Now, of course, everybody's talking about healthcare, and you're kind of right in the middle of it. Give us your thoughts on that. How afraid should OBGYNs or people in the medical profession be, or people, in research like yourself be, with some of the looming dark clouds on the horizon? To tell us about that from somebody who's in the inside.
I think they should be fairly concerned. I mean, if the president's administration really wants to do something where they want to do research with embryonic stem cell research, and they want to give all the money to that, well, it's going to be hard to turn down all that money for science groups if they're given a lot of money. I think the actual research that's going to be effective is going to be adult stem cell research. But I would be concerned. I mean, as far as doctors and people like that, I've talked to several, and most of them are not real happy about the health care and having to be forced to do the things they may have to be forced to do. So
yeah, it's scary. We're speaking to John McAnally. He is the co-founder and president and grand poobah of ConceptionIsLife.com. John, as we run out of time here, let me ask you this. You've obviously hit a bonanza with this, and I know your motive is not to make money. Your motive is to further the cause of life.
Right.
Have you guys talked about maybe coming up with some different ideas, or you might go to prayer for that?
We have. There's some things that we can't talk about, but I know one of the things we're looking at is possibly a button that just shows the unborn on it, different pictures of the unborn. A lot, men and women don't necessarily want to wear the same things. Maybe men don't want to wear as much the bracelet, even though this bracelet is gender neutral. But a button that you can put on as a lapel pin or something like that they can carry around and wear. And we've talked about different things, religious things, rosaries, of course, and there's many other ways to go with this. This was obviously the first of many things we're trying to do, and whatever we need to do to get, it's whatever God leads us to do. Mm-hmm. That's what we're going to do. It's kind of hard to tell God no.
Yeah, I think it's amazing that God gave you this vision literally in adoration. You hear side note to all this. Get to adoration. I think people are really missing an opportunity, myself included, in not being spoken to directly by God by not going to adoration. I'm sure you're a big fan of adoration.
I'm a big fan of adoration. So, and my partner as well is.
John, we just have about another minute or so. If you could tell folks about the website and maybe just give a recap for those who are just tuning in about the bracelet and what else they might find on the website and how they can navigate it and put orders in if they'd like to.
If you go to Conception is Life, that's our company, and you can go to ConceptionIsLife.com. It'll really lead you through everything you need to know about ordering the bracelet. So if you're a wholesaler or a pro-life group, even just a parish that wants to do something for the unborn, this is a perfect opportunity for you to do something. And you can go in there and you can go through and you can order as many as you like. We sell them in different size packages, everything from 12 all the way up to 1,000, and it's a different price range. These bracelets have 12 different images on them showing the development from conception all the way up to 20 weeks. And on the inside is a prayer for the unborn that Bishop Fulton Sheen wrote. And you can also call us at 817-419-9440. That's our Metro line.
All right. John McAnally, ConceptionIsLife.com. Since he is a transgenicist at UT Southwestern Medical School, I would imagine the question of when life begins is not above your pay grade?
No, it's a conception.
Okay. Others have had some difficulty with that question.
I have never seen a mouse turn into anything other than a mouse from the moment of conception. So.
Well, we could have a whole conversation about that. But thank you so much, John. And also your partner's name is?
Scott Blue.
Scott Blue. And I'm sure he's probably listening and some other folks that are involved with you. But thank you so much for what you're doing. God bless your efforts.